Well, I am going to get us started because I want to honor everyone's lunch time and breaks and things. So, welcome to SHAC. This is our second meeting of the year. We're the School Health Advisory Council. I would love it if everyone could introduce themselves briefly. Just if you want to sound off, we'll start with staff members. I'm SJ Menifee. I'm the Director of Communications here at RAPS and the current chair of the SHAC committee. And how about we go elementary people first? So we'll start with Coach K.
And I'm Coach K, and I'm the PE coach here at the Fluellen campus, pre-K through first.
My name is Yazmeen Lopez. I'm the elementary counselor.
Coach Whitty, I teach PE at 2nd through 4th.
I'm Julie Caspers, and I am the STEM teacher, 2nd through 4th, and I'm going to speak a little to our garden and healthy things that we're doing around here.
Yay. All right. How about you, Miss Thomas? You're in the you are district.
Hello, I'm Katrina Thomas. I'm the parent liaison for the school district.
And then I think Miss you are the final staff member on here right now.
Hi, I'm Ashely Ugulano. I'm the counselor at the secondary campus.
And then for our community members and parent joining us, will you introduce yourselves?
I'm Rosie Escobedo, parent of middle schoolers Quinn.
And my name is Jared Gould. I am a community member.
Very good. Well, I'm going to share my presentation screen real quick, hopefully. And can everyone see that okay? Share, present full screen. Please move this window. No, I'm good. Are we good? Can we see that? Fantastic. Well, we did welcomes and introductions. I'm just going to go over a couple things about SHAC because I just think it's important for us to repeat it each time that we meet. Number one, just know that this meeting is recorded. It's just a requirement for us to have this on video. So just consider that when you say things on our SHAC meeting. Not that I'm concerned about anything, but it's just something that you should know. We are a district level advisory council that assists the district in ensuring that local community values are reflected in our health education instruction. SHACs are mandated by state law, and they're about giving a voice to parents in the community and to share the importance of health for our district. We review health-related curriculum, and we make recommendations on health-related topics. We develop and monitor our local school wellness policy, which is something we're going to talk about at the end of this meeting, because I would love everyone to spend some time between now and our next meeting just looking at our wellness policy so that we can maybe update it and make some changes as it's a little old at this point. Identifying any gaps in health policies, practices, and programs, helping advocate for school health within our district and our community, again, amplifying the voices of our community members and parents, and developing a vision, goal, and plan for supporting the whole child. And what that looks like is aligning everything that we do with the whole school, whole community, whole child model. Which is why when we talk about health, we're not just going to talk about physical education or food, but we also want to talk about mental health, which is something that's our topic today. We're going to talk about how we maintain the symbiotic relationship between learning and health. So that is what we do here. And today I'm very excited that our fabulous school counselors are going to present information about what they do. Part of the reason that we're moving towards this in SHAC meetings is that there is a lot of great work that is happening in health at Rappaport. But it isn't always communicated holistically. So one of the great things about making sure that we cover each of these topics and that whole child model in our meetings is that they're recorded. So if anybody else wants to come back and watch this, or if parents are just not aware of what all we do in these different areas, it's an opportunity for us to cover that. So without any further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Miss Yazmeen Lopez and Miss Ashely Ugulano. So, y'all, well, I put your slides in here.
Thank you. Ms. Lopez, would you like to start us off?
Sure.
And thank you for matching with me today.
Oh, yes, it was planned for this presentation. So really, I know that often it can be kind of confusing what a counselor or what a school counselor does, or a counselor that works within a school system, and how that kind of differs from counseling that you might see out in a community setting. But really, our focus is on supporting students, whether that is their mental health, helping them reach academic goals, or whether it's through providing them instruction to support their social development and making good friendships and having great relationships. School counseling is different in that it's short term, so just meaning a few sessions that is really focused on a particular goal. We tend to use the solution-focused therapy model, which is I think really good at kind of helping students identify their own personal strengths and having them really feel like the expert in their problem and helping them develop a strong problem-solving mindset. And so through these short-term counseling sessions, we collaborate with them, we collaborate with staff members, and help them kind of come up with some good solutions. But also we collaborate with staff members with what are relevant problems for students and how can we provide targeted instruction to them that will help them holistically. Some of the topics that we cover are bullying, mental health and coping skills, and we also spend a lot of our time connecting families with community resources and being a sounding board to staff and families in regards to their kiddos' mental health.
Fabulous.
So I would say when we were kind of thinking about the students, kind of like our caseload, I guess, or how students get referred to us, it kind of falls into 4 different categories. So the first would be like a student in crisis. So that's going to be a student where there's a concern for harm to self or to others. Then we have, we attend meetings with staff and grade levels. And so if there's a student of concern that comes up, we might be a point person to be connected and supporting whatever plan is put in place for that student. So a student of concern is going to be someone whose emotional or behavioral concerns, I guess, have increased or just like changed, like the student's not behaving the way that they had in the past, or maybe they've had some type of X factor, which is something in their life that has changed. So whether that's relocating, a loss of a loved one, things like that. We also serve those students who have IEP or 504 plans that counseling minutes are included in that support. So that would be done through us as well. And then a student or parent might request, like we have students who are like, hey, can I talk to you? Or a parent's like, hey, can you check on my kid? I've been worried about them. So that's kind of typical how they get routed or why they would get routed to us.
So some of the things that we have already put in place as initiatives regarding student mental health, we have some that are more specific towards elementary or secondary, and then stuff that we do collaboratively throughout the whole district. So in elementary, I do guidance lessons, presentations. I just finished up bullying ones for this month, and in the second semester, I will be doing presentations about coping skills and helping them kind of develop a good toolbox of coping skills that they can use in whatever situation they may encounter. I've also a recent initiative that we started last year that we're bringing back for this year is Camp Careful. That is a student presentation with Dr. Battle. She is a doctor at the Advocacy Center, and she puts on these presentations that work to educate students about their body and also how to advocate for themselves. She also holds presentations for parents, so that way parents are also given the language to use with their children as well. So that way, no matter what situation students are ever in, they can feel safe and also empowered to speak up when something isn't right. I also do individual student meetings based off of what Ashely just talked about, based off of student concerns, and also some groups as needed, depending on different, kind of behavioral patterns we're seeing. But often teachers will also come to me with ideas or students that they think might benefit from more targeted instruction on, a given topic.
I think across the board, no matter if it's elementary or secondary, we really are trying to align everything that we're doing so that it's consistent across the district. So everything besides Camp Careful, I'm doing here at secondary, something that at secondary that happens that doesn't happen at elementary is going to be, this is our second year doing the YAM program. So YAM stands for Youth Aware of Mental Health. It's a worldwide prevention for suicide. So we actually partner with Texas A&M. They have trained YAM presenters that come to the school to do the presentation once a year, and that'll happen next semester. So last year we did it for 8th through 12th. Research in their program has just shown that it's an effective, like, one-time kind of deal. So that's why we did that many grade levels. So moving forward, it will be just for 8th grade. And then I will do like a mental health presentation reminder kind of thing for the suicide prevention. And then we also this year started doing parent newsletters. So I'd love to hear feedback if people are enjoying that. So we send a district one for the parents, and then we're also sending a quarterly high school newsletter to the students. So yeah, I think everything pretty much we try to align across the district. And I think maybe the biggest difference is just the concerns or needs that arise are a little bit different depending on the campus.
And I will say that Ms. Lopez and Ms. Yu do a fantastic job of working really closely together to make sure that it feels like that all of these areas are covered, and that, like you said, that they are aligned. You guys do an amazing job of taking care of our student mental health needs. Have people seen our Counselor Connection newsletter that comes out on Parent Square monthly? And you can find an archive of those on our website as well if you want to access any of them from like last year or things like that. They're very timely, topical newsletters. Does anybody have any questions right now and about counseling, about mental health support here at the school? Any suggestions or feedback for our awesome counselors? I'm going to leave the floor open for a minute. Okay, I think you guys just covered it all really well, which is good. I would ask if I am a parent whose child has experienced an X factor thing, right? A death in a family, a traumatic thing that may have happened. What is the process for me getting in touch with a counselor? Would I reach out to my teacher? I just feel like that would be a question that a lot of parents might have.
Yeah, so we did send out the first newsletter that we sent out does have all of our contact information on there. But just reaching out really to the front office and just saying, hey, can you connect me to the counselor, even if you can't remember who we are, then they'll route you to us as well.
That sounds good. I know that, but I want to be sure that other people know that.
And I think really anybody on campus, like if a parent was like, how do I get a hold of the counselor? Like they would help. So just asking anybody
It's
really.
not a process that requires a referral to you, basically.
No.
They're welcome to
Yeah.
email you directly. Okay,
Of course. Yep.
that is very helpful. All righty, well, if there are no other questions, we're going to move on with our agenda. Thank you very much, Ms. Yu and Ms. Lopez, for presenting.
Thank you.
Our next topic is we had a parent, and she's not on here on this call today, but she had some questions about what we do with gardening at Rappaport. And there are programs across our pre-K through high school that have been involved in various gardening efforts and places, but probably the most consistent place is at our MacArthur campus, 2nd through 4th grade. So I wanted Mrs. Caspers to just give us some overview of some of the great work that she's doing over there, because having kids outside, having kids gardening, learning about where our food comes from is absolutely something that supports the health of our students and families. And I think you're muted. So Coach Woody, would you? Yeah.
Well, I just want to share, our garden has been a very delightful place for our children and our whole community. We have it out in the picnic area, so we just enjoy it in many capacities as well as the educational piece of it. The garden was established, I believe, by master gardeners when this campus was established. So I do want to give them credit because there's a peach tree and a good starting. And so what we did is we expanded it about 3 years ago and did a pilot program. The Texas A&M agent that we work with, April Strickland, brought the idea to our school, and we instituted the Learn, Grow, Eat, and Go program. We have a curriculum. The children have their own little master gardener books, and a lot of these are very aligned with PE as well as art, as well as, there's multiple disciplines in education, and very much so with our STEM program. So we try to get our TEKS in at the same time. At the same time, I can tell you that the children have really enjoyed it. We have produced a lot of different vegetables and things like oregano. The kids know that's the pizza plant, and the different smells, and it's been a sensory thing for them. Everyone wants to work in the garden, and what's really neat is there's such a respect for the garden that everybody takes care of it, and they help maintain it, and they run security for it. If somebody mistreats a butterfly, we're all just not bullying persons, but we're re-educating them, and it's so cool because we have last year I had the lizard guys that were doing research, so it just lends itself to many different aspects of research. We even use things like data processing, like something you might see at middle school. Baylor gave us some of this equipment for free, old equipment. We go out and take soil temperatures and research various aspects that go with our teaks and butterflies and different species. And then we do whole food web work out there with our whiteboards. I also know teachers have gone out there for writing lessons and ELAR. And so also children that are overstimulated that just want calm and peace. There's a lot of situations where people have been brought out there. A lot of staff members can go sit there and have a peaceful lunch. So I think it's been a real plus. And then in the summer, I did have a lot more food during that time. And so what I did is I came in the summer every week and I had some of the kids helped and we harvested, and we would take a class at a time and try to send as much food home as we can. So ultimately we want to do more and more for our communities and our families to provide fresh food as much as possible. Just to give you a little idea of some of the selection, we had peaches, we have tomatoes out there like crazy now. We also have some peppers, cilantro. The kids are starting to make their own seed banks from plants that we've grown before. My husband and I have donated a lot, but we have winter blankets, so we're able to keep up with some of the different winter crops, and the kids learn what grows best in the colder climates. We, for example, have kept the same flowers for the last 3 years with our blankets, and I've never had to replace some of them, which is just about unheard of. So the kids are learning a lot of different things. So it's been wonderful. And then April Strickland has given us things. Our kids have gotten plants to take home. That's 68 children took plants home of their own, tomato plants and things. They also got 68 water jugs or whatever to take home water bottles, and they were all very happy about that. So and then we got little aprons, and one other thing, she comes in, April Strickland comes in and does certain days, like Pesto Day is coming up on November 8th, and the kids get to taste some things they might not usually taste with healthy nutritional things. And then they are able to taste things that they might not always have exposure to. And they're really pretty good about tasting it. We teach them a certain respect level for trying new things. So that they love it. The other classes are jealous until they get their special day too. And then we've used it with STEAM and National STEAM Day, and Miss Miller and I work together. So I'm willing to take any questions, but it's a labor of love, really.
It is a very peaceful place on campus. I was sitting out there during Parent Academy, enjoying the evening in the garden as well. Just, you can tell the amount of work that has gone into it and the fact that you've expanded. So that was another thing that Texas AgriLife Extension has enabled us to do. It's been a good partnership because we've done a lot of work, and you have provided a lot of the
We have a weather station, and the children have done beautiful art. I'm talking beautiful art. Like when we had the eclipse, we had this team of children that just did a beautiful interpretation of the eclipse. And that's and I took a big picture, a canvas one, and hung it in the STEAM lab because I was so proud of their work. We go and take different artists and we do our own thing on it. We have a NASA island. So that's all kid work, you know, they're just all, and I do have a few stencils, but
you can see them down here on this bottom slide. They're cinder blocks, but they've all been decorated, and they have a theme.
They love to plan. They love to be a part of it. It's just amazing.
Does anyone have any questions for Mrs. Caspers, or any suggestions or anything
at
all?
Grants anywhere? Just let me know.
Or more money, more plants. It is third grade that you're doing the LGEG with, right?
The Master Gardener program goes with third grade, but I will tell you, the kids that I've had in previous years, they all want to keep involved. So I stay after school a lot of nights to try to involve, and anytime in recess, they'll come running over, they want to help. So it's very cool because it's really, I would have to tell you, Mr. Nelson, Miss Miller, Coach T has been very responsible with helping me coordinate some kids. So it's just a labor of love by the whole community. And I can't say enough about what it's built up for our community.
Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Caspers, for taking time out of your lunch break to tell us about this, and for all of the watering and weeding and love that you've given the Mac garden.
We have enrichment groups. I teach about 4 enrichment groups, so I try to pull those children in, so they have some responsibility for the garden, and they're all at 4th and 3rd grade level. So that's another big group of children that have very vested interests. But we've had every child just about in the whole school has worked on it in some capacity.
Awesome. I will be sure to share some more as they continue to do this programming with Mrs. Strickland. One of the great things about that is it's grant funded. So as long as we're doing this program, they can provide us some of those things for our students. I think they all went home with gardening gloves too, right, Mrs. Caspers?
Yes, I have those, and they will go home, and we do use them here, and then they will get another pair of gloves.
That's great. That's great. I don't like dirt under my fingernails personally.
No, we have a set in the shed that we keep. I don't.
Wonderful. All right, so our next topic was just keeping you updated on our Waco Family Medicine dental clinics, which is something that we've been working on with a Rappaport parent, Dr. Thompson, who has 2 kids at the Fluellen campus, and she's a dentist at Waco Family Medicine. So she's been awesome about getting our families connected to this opportunity. The clinics are coming up November 4th and 6th. When they dropped off the consent forms, though, last month, they did a really fun and engaging oral hygiene lesson with all of our elementary students. She brought over dental students to come and help do that. They talked about the importance of how to brush, how to floss, what foods are good for our teeth, what foods are less good for our teeth, and how important it is to brush all the time, every day, and that kind of thing. Our kids were super engaged, and it was really fun. So there's a couple photos of them. They had this dinosaur or or alligator with very real looking teeth. And they talked about how to brush them. So I will update you on numbers when they have those. The consent forms are due this week. And then they'll come and do the mobile clinic for our students. So that's just a great opportunity to bring healthcare to the campuses. At this point, we're just doing that for the elementary, but we have talked about maybe doing something at middle school in the future as well. So that would be something that we could look at rolling out. And then an update from our last SHAC meeting, we talked about the importance of trying to get a district-wide flu shot clinic scheduled. And I have nailed down a date, so November 12th. It is in that window, Mr. Gould, you mentioned the pre-Thanksgiving window. It isn't going to be this month, but that's okay. Tuesday, November 12th from 4 to 6 p.m. And then I'm very excited to say that our I like to call them our neighbors here at the Doris Miller Community Center are going to host it for us in their building, because they're actually open till 9 p.m. As opposed to a staff member needing to stay and keep a building open. And there aren't a lot that have like parking near the door, especially at this campus. And then the elementaries are running after school programs, and we just didn't want that to be confusing with people needing to sign in to be on a campus that has students currently. So what that will mean, though, is that we need families to sign up and staff members to sign up. So I'm going to start advertising that starting tomorrow because I just got the website up, just so that we have a head count for how many may want to come by to get shots. And then something that I wanted to maybe just bring up as a point of discussion with you guys real briefly is the great thing is the date is confirmed, and either HEB Pharmacy or the Waco-McLennan County Health District can come and do the shot clinic, but there are like caveats for each of those groups. So trying to make the best decision for our people. Mostly we just want to make it easy, right? We're trying to make it super simple to be like, I worked all day today at this school and I haven't had a chance to make it over to a pharmacy or a doctor's office to get a flu shot. And it should be dead simple for me to stop by, get my flu shot, be protected from the flu so that I can continue to teach and go to school and be engaged in education, right? So the Waco-McLennan County Health District, they will come and do it, and it's pretty simple, but they need us to fill out like 4 or 5 forms for some reason. They're very form heavy, okay? But there's no like other requirements other than filling out evidently multiple forms. And she kind of like told me over the phone, she's like, I mean, it's like a lot. So like if you can send them out to people in advance. I know I went once to try to get a shot. I think it was a COVID booster, and then I finally like gave up. Like I was at their place, and then I was like, you know what? No. I think I filled it all out, and then they decided they didn't take my insurance, and it was going to also be like $25 for whatever it was, and I was like, never mind. But they're wonderful. They're willing to come and do it for free. They will bring multiple immunologists to do this. HEB Pharmacy, who's we've used in the past, now has a requirement of there to be 30 people getting shots per hour, which for a 2-hour clinic is 60 people, or they will charge us money. That depending on us not having enough people for them to spend their time immunizing. So I just read through, but both of them have that date available. Both of them are reserving it for us right now. And I was reading through the requirements from the HEB this morning, and I was like, cool, yeah, I'll just sign this and send over to them because they only have 1 form to fill out. She was like, you might want to check with HEB because I feel like their forms are easier, which is kind of a funny thing to tell someone. But then their on-site agreement is that we will provide them with the 30 doses per hour on site, or it will be a certain amount of money per people who are not there. So I asked, my only thought was I asked them, hey, when do I need to let you know? how many people I think will be here, because I want people to sign up and say, hey, I plan to come. Obviously, you could say you plan to come and then life happens and you don't come. But like if we're at a certain number, I think HEB is going to be easier. So what do y'all think about that? Because I was like, well, I don't know now.
I have a question, SJ, because
Mhm.
we have done this in the past, correct?
Yes.
How many people in the past have
That's a great
come?
question. We were very busy the first time that I was here when we did it. Mainly because they were also providing COVID vaccines, which they're happy to do again.
Mm.
But we didn't do one last year. I'm going to pull up the number because I was just looking at it. If y'all give me a second, it looks like we had 41 responses for people coming to get flu shots. But some of them signed up for more than one slot. So I don't have an exact number. So you can say, hey, I'm coming and I'm coming and I'm bringing my 3 kids. So that's 4 shots, right? I would say it looks like we probably were over the 60 mark for that. The last time that we did this, which was 2022. Yeah. So, I mean, no matter what, they're both holding the date. So I can send out the flu shot head count, like let us know you plan to come. And we can kind of decide a little closer. I think I'm really excited that we're able to host it at the community center as well, because they can advertise it to anybody who frequently uses their services, City of Waco employees as well. It's open to anyone. So I think that will be good. But I was just like, one more caveat to think about. Okay. Well, that's all I have on flu shot clinics. You're all welcome to come. That is actually an evening that we have a secondary event as well, like right after that. So it's STEM night at secondary. So I'm hoping that also we'll just have people who are like, oh, I'll go get my flu shot and then go to STEM night, or I'm already here working on things for STEM night. I can run over to the community center and get a flu shot potentially. So I couldn't decide if that was a good idea or a bad idea to have it the same night that we have an event. But I figure if people are coming anyways, it might work out that they can do both. In fact, Ms. Lopez, the first time we had the flu shot when I was here, we had to do it in a parking lot, and it was flu and COVID. And they had to go. The guy remembered, the HEB guy remembered, he goes, that's right. It was crazy. The line was really long, and they had to run back to HEB to get more vaccines. They didn't have enough. So hopefully erring on the side of like more people will work out. Okay, so other school health updates. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to ask just anyone on this committee and any parents who are interested to review our policy and plan. They're not very long. They're a couple pages long. And they outline kind of what you would expect that we would want for a wellness policy. I just think that it would be great if people would read it, and maybe we can talk about any changes or edits that we may want to make to them and updates. So I will send out the documents with this video and like the meeting minutes for anyone to look through. It will take very little time. And I will send a reminder when we have our next meeting. Hey, just a reminder, if you haven't, like, just highlight anything that you think, that's weird, or that seems outdated, that kind of thing. That would be excellent. I did want to point out that we have some open positions. Miss Jen Malat, our food service director, has recently accepted a position at the Texas Department of Agriculture. So that position is opening up. It is currently posted on our website. So feel free to share that if you know anyone who is interested in working in that position. We have a transition plan in place where she will continue to do the food ordering and some of the paperwork side of things. And then one of our more senior people in the kitchen will be a kitchen manager. So it's not going to interrupt any of our food service processes at all. But since she just presented at our last meeting and it has to do with school health, I wanted to be sure and highlight that. And then it looks like our part-time nurse, school nurse position is open again. The person who was going to take it, did not materialize. So that is also still open. So any way that you can share that open position so that we could try to get it filled would be great. We're looking at ways to cover some of that work by getting some of our staff members certified to do some of the basic testing of things that need to happen for state requirements. And then if anyone else has a topic or an update that they would like to share, we can open the floor for a minute or two. If you have something you want to share. Hi, Dr. Thompson. We did share here. Let me go back. All about your dental clinic. So there's your cute pictures with your very toothy alligator, and maybe it's an alligator. And how you are going to have those clinics the first week of November.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was only able to hop on now, but appreciate it.
Okay. That's okay. Do you have very many forms turned in at this point?
I've only picked up from Flu Ellen. I think we had like 20.
Okay.
And that was so yeah, I'm hopeful we'll have more, but we'll see.
Yeah.
By Friday, I'll go pick them up tomorrow and see how many we have.
Good. I did send out a reminder yesterday too, and hopefully that'll jog people's memories. Sometimes if I don't know the look in the folder, those things sit in the folder for a long time.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any other topics that anyone wanted to bring up? Anything to report on the PE side? I appreciate you guys being here, our fabulous PE coaches.
SJ, this is Chisa, a parent. I don't know if.
Hi, Chisa. I saw you hop on, but it was during our counselor presentation, so I didn't want to call you out.
Okay, I just want to say thank you all for the information. We are new to Rap Rapport, and so just being able to come to a space and it's conveniently on Zoom. I appreciate that. I do want to share because I work for the market, and a lot of you, when you go home, you pass the market. And so I wanted to be able to give you information that you could share with your families. The Waco Downtown Farmers Market provides food access programs, which means if you have a family that is receiving SNAP benefits, they are welcome to come to either market, the Wednesday night market 5 to 8 or your traditional Saturday market, and they can utilize their resources, the SNAP benefits there at the market, buying locally from the farmers in the community. We also have what's called a double up food system where you can take your, let's say you have SNAP benefits and you want to spend $20. The market will give you an additional $20 that you can use on fruits and vegetables. And that is year round with both markets. So that is something that is sometimes unknown. So I wanted to share it with the families and the school themselves to let your folks know that that's available at the farmers market. And as parents and people over children, we have a wonderful opportunity. I know that you all have tracks where young people are learning about business. We are inviting youth to the farmers market on Wednesday nights where they can come and start their own business or, gain new audiences for their businesses at our youth entrepreneurial market nights. That's November 27th and December the 4th. So inviting you all out for that as well. Thank you, SJ.
Thank you for sharing, Chisa. I appreciate it. I have that flyer about the entrepreneurship nights. It's on my list of things to publicize to our families, but it is a good reminder about the SNAP benefits. And if I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, is the market moving to Bridge Street at some point, like fully, both Saturday and Wednesday?
So at March 2025, Saturday will come over to where the Wednesday night market is currently. Yes, ma'am. 2025.
Okay. 2025. Okay. So that is a hop, skip, and a jump away from our secondary campus.
That's right. Yes.
And a great place to stop by and remind our staff to stop by, grab some grab some fresh veggies on their way home. What time does that start on the night market? Do you have that off the top of your head? Is it 5:30?
So the night market is seasonal.
Okay.
We go, and it's 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
And the market is currently open now through December the 4th.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Awesome. Does anybody else have anything they would like to share? All right. All right. Well, I really appreciate your time. See, our next meeting has moved to December 5th. I had it on a November date that turned out was also the date of one of our Thanksgiving meals for the secondary campus. And I don't want people to have to choose. And I don't want to miss my daughter's Thanksgiving meal either. So I just didn't have that other one on my calendar when I scheduled it. And I'm hoping that we can get some brief updates from our fabulous PE coaches on anything that you would like to talk about. So Coach Whitty and Coach K are on the ground floor. I'll have to rope in our secondary coaches. But any bullet points or things that you want to share, we can do a little highlight on physical education and the skills that you cover. So that'll be our topic of presentation. And I will update you at that point as well on any of the other things, our dental clinic, the flu shot clinic. And if anything else comes up in the meantime, I'll add that to our agenda. You can always email me if you have agenda items that you would like to add. I will also be sure to put in the information on the market, and we'll put that on a slide for our full SHAC meeting as well. That sound great? Thank you all for your time. I'm going to end the meeting.